welcome to episode number 3 of Tales from the Hunt, a Monster Hunter World podcast. I am Nevada Drew, and as always, in this podcast mini something, I'm joined by Gav. Hello!
Hello, I am here.
I had this realization when I was listening back to our normal podcast, that I only ever introduce your first names, and I always say my full name. So, yeah, this is Gav McNaughton. Oh yeah, I should do it that way instead.
That's also me. Thank you for promoting my brand.
I should fully name you. Yeah, it's rude otherwise. Yeah, it's a bit like I get a full name.
We're not allowed them. We're just kept in the bits and pieces dungeon. It's not even our real names.
Yeah, no, I just get pseudonyms.
Exactly.
Anyway, that aside, we're going to talk about some cool Monster Hunter World stuff today. We've got some event costume talk about some weapons, the lance and the greatsword. Devil Joe, who's coming in on 22nd in a patch, and then some other bits and pieces to go along with that.
Still a lot to talk about with this game, just because it's still moving in a kind of interesting way. I mean, I suppose it's only been. It feels like it's been a while, but it has been just
2 months.
2 months, yeah, since it launched.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've just kept the event quests going with tons of stuff, and there's some people are. I've heard a bit of criticism of the fact that it's been 2 months and there's just one new monster, but at the same time, it's something new, and it doesn't cost any money, which is nice. No.
And also, the monsters are like they're so complicated and in depth that I can understand why it would take that long to do.
Yeah. Like we were saying, first on our agenda is this event stuff. I've missed a couple. I'm a bit upset about it. One of them I made the mistake. They had the it wasn't a crossover one. They had the Wiggler helm.
Oh yeah, same.
The big hat. The thing was, I went in right, and I did the quest. So I was like, oh, there's just 1 day left to get it done. So I'll go in, and I'll finish off the event quest. Turn it off, go to work, and I did that. And then I came back the next day, I guess I should craft this. And I looked, and it's it required about 3 of the tokens, and I only had 1, and I was like, oh, I had to do the quest more than once. And I felt like a fool, like a complete imbecile. Yeah,
no, I did a similar thing. I said I knew I had to get more. I just ran out of time to do it. I was like, I'll just do some Monster Hunter, and I saw that, and after I'd done some other stuff, and then realised that I didn't have enough time to actually do the other ones.
Yeah.
Thought, I'll come back later and do it. And then it just never happened. And so now I've got this Wiggler hat taunting me at the bottom of my
it'll
crafting
be there
screen.
Until the event quest reappears. It'll be there just staring at you.
Well, with its wobbly head.
And
it looks so funny.
It does. It looks incredible. And the other one that I made an arse of was the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. Because I did get everything I needed to craft it, but what I forgot was that the bow has an upgrade. You craft the bow at a base level, and then it can upgrade a level further, and that requires I think 2 additional tickets or something.
Oh,
so
right.
I've not got those. So I did the quest enough times to craft the whole armor set.
Yeah.
And all minus the fact that I don't have an Anjanath gem, but that's RNGesus at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, just don't have enough for it.
That's rubbish. I don't think I did that one. I did the pet version, so I had a nice little watcher follow me around for a bit. I did that, but I don't think I did the actual. What's her name?
Aloy.
I was like aluminium.
Alan. Alan.
Yeah. Aloy. Yeah, I didn't do the actual Aloy stuff.
Yeah.
I meant to, but again, just never happened. Which is a shame. And I also missed the Street Fighter one as well. I saw that it was there, and I was like, no, tomorrow I'll do that. And this thing came up tomorrow, and I never went back and did it. So,
dear oh dear, I know you can't dress up as Ryu.
I cannot dress up as Ryu. No, it's a shame.
Awful.
I feel like I've let him down.
Exactly.
He was counting on me.
His grumpy face will forever be grumpy with you.
Yeah.
Unless the event quest comes back.
I'm assuming it probably will at some point.
My understanding is that the event quests... I mean, I think the Horizon one won't come back, but I'm not too sure. Because it went on for quite a while, and it had a specific time frame attached.
Yeah.
But since, obviously, Street Fighter's Capcom as well, I think there's a good chance it could circle back around, and I know the other ones probably will as well, like the Wiggler and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the crossovers have been really cool so far, and I wonder how long they'll keep going on for.
Yeah, because there's the Mega Man one's coming up in April, where you can get a little Mega Man to be your pet and follow you around. He's all pixelated,
Mega Man
which just
cat.
looks
Nice.
funny. Yeah,
Excellent stuff.
yeah, and then there's a Devil May Cry one, isn't there, coming?
There is.
At some point.
At some point,
actually.
I don't know the date. I don't think I looked at the trailer. I didn't see a date, but I did only
Ah,
watch it
there we
once.
are.
So
That could be it then.
But yeah, but you can dress up as Dante himself.
Yes,
The game
man
now
himself.
does officially feature Dante from the Devil May Cry series, and
Yeah.
one thing I like about it is the other two collab costumes have been like, well, they're like full body conversions. Basically, you just get the whole armor set, or I think, yeah, and you just you equip it and you look completely like the character. But
Yeah.
I do appreciate that the Dante set it's just an actual armor set, and you can equip it piece by piece, and it just goes on
Yeah,
top
it's
of your
nice.
character, because it's nice just to be able to mix and match the way you look, and
Yeah.
get the best stats, get the best fashion, which counts for more. That's for you to decide.
That's the great Monster Hunter question, isn't it?
Exactly. Do you wear the hat with the stat, or the good hat that makes you look incredibly attractive? Or do you set hats not to be visible? That's also an option.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw some people recommending you do that with the Wiggler helm in a set, because it actually has a use. Like it's got like the wide range on it, so it's quite
it
good
does.
for those ones. But they were like, "Oh, just set it off if you don't like it." And it's like, who doesn't like it?
How can you not? It looks amazing.
It's floppy and also wiggly.
Yeah. Those
Incredible
fools.
stuff.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I can't believe you wouldn't want to have that as an awesome head.
Yep, incredible scenes.
Exactly. So yeah, there's lots of really good event costumes, and not just good like general events and stuff. So
Yeah,
they've kept it going with stuff like that. Like I want to go back and play it because I want to go back and play it anyway. But the stuff like this just makes me even more so like, I definitely need to go on during the Mega Man quest thing just so I can get a little Mega Man to follow me around all pixelated.
Yeah.
Apparently, he changes the tracks as well, like on certain monsters and stuff. I think. You know when you think something, but you think
something.
have I made that up? But
Yeah,
I think that's the case.
I hope you've not made it up, because it sounds excellent.
Yeah. So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
I really appreciate that kind of thing. I mean, I guess it's because the last games, I suppose with the exception of 3 Ultimate's Wii U incarnation, weren't like connected to an online device, not like a device that was regularly online.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think all your event quests and stuff like the 3DS version, it was a matter of either being in the right place at the right time to get a code for it, or downloading it during the time frame, or they've just stayed up. But otherwise, like these ones, because they are time limited, I guess it does give you it can be a bit annoying, but it can give you the feeling that I guess the game's still kicking. Hopefully it keeps going for a while like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I've been enjoying them. I just wish I could remember to actually do them.
Yes. And I suppose...
Anyway, should we... Oh, sorry, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, we could just adjust the schedule slightly, since we are speaking of new things being added to the game.
Okay.
And move this one up the agenda.
Yeah.
So it's more contiguous. Is obviously there's a new monster coming out in 3 days. 3 days.
Yes, on the 22nd.
Exactly. The big bad Devil Joe, the evil pickle that will come to eat you.
And Devil Joe, famously the monster that if you cut off his tail, he will eat his tail.
Well, I mean, hungry lad, isn't he?
Gotta eat. Yeah, growing.
He's a grown boy.
He's got to get that protein.
Because I tend not to play weapons that much that cut tails that easily. I don't think I ever did that. I never saw it anyway. So if you cut his tail and he eats it, does that mean that do you just need to either scare him away from the tail if you want to carve it, or just kill him before he can eat it?
You know what? I can't remember.
Sure. What's
to be
the
honest.
strategy for getting tail curves off him? Anyway, I'm sure
yeah,
someone knows the answer.
Exactly. If you know, messages on the various things.
Exactly.
Give us
some abuse about our lack of knowledge.
Yes, definitely. So yes, and send us a tweet at Bits Plus Pieces and let us know that we are wrong.
Which you probably are. Anyway.
Yes.
What was I going to say?
Yeah, no, he's coming. He's running along on his tiny legs.
Tiny legs. Exactly. I mean, he's kind of the second almost T-Rex like one, because obviously Anjanath is the same kind of T-Rex-ish brute wyvern thing, I think is what they call them in the game.
Right, yeah.
These creatures that walk on two legs and have stubby arms and are upset with you universally.
Upset with everyone.
Mm-hmm. I believe, if I understand, I mean, he kind of had the Deviljho had the kind of role in the previous games, almost of what the Basil Goose does in this one, which is kind of roaming predator.
Yes.
And apparently the kind of the backstory, so to speak, is that it's just always hungry, and so just goes around eating everything constantly.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If you get in its way, then you also are food.
Yeah, he's got like he's a bit scary looking with like, you know, it's like that face. It's like 1,000 teeth.
Exactly. There's a high dentist bills.
Yes. Yeah. Or no dentist bills, because I mean they don't look great.
Well, no, I suppose not. At least not very good dentists. I can't imagine there's a regulatory body for the dental profession in the Monster Hunter universe, but or that he would visit one without eating it.
Yeah, that is got his hand in his mouth trying to take one out, and just too hungry. I'm
really interested to see how they go about integrating a new monster into the game, though, because I maybe it's just I've not paid attention. Maybe they've all announced all this again, and I'm just useless. But I wonder if it'll just be will they be confined to specific quests? Obviously, I think they'll probably start showing up on expeditions. Obviously, because you'd hope so.
Yeah.
But or will they like start getting mixed in, you know, on other quests where there's more than one monster? Like, will they kind of slot the new monsters in as an optional, like somewhere along the story, or is it specifically something you'll have had to like beat most of everything else to fight?
Well, Gavin, I know the answer to this.
You know the answer.
I have looked it up and seen.
That's
good. Yeah, Deviljho will invade rank 6 and 7 quests and higher rank expeditions, a bit like Basil Goose does as well. So, and you can do an investigation. Well, before that, you have to do the investigation to find him, and then do his special thing, and he'll start appearing randomly.
Cool.
Causing mischief.
That is good news.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I like the idea of them just kind of, you know, slotting in that way when they're introduced. Because, you know, I mean, not that I wouldn't appreciate it even either way, even if they were just introduced as kind of, like, you know, kind of like end game additional content, so to speak. But it is nice to have the game feeling like it's expanding in that way.
Mm. No, it's nice, isn't it? It's just like, oh, there's like another monster that can just appear randomly to be to do stuff, which just adds an extra bit of intrigue.
Exactly, a bit of mystery.
Yeah,
and lots of teeth and lasers.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Deviljho does lasers, but lots of teeth.
I think he's got like or maybe is it one of the variants that has a beam? Because I know he's got a couple different forms, and one of them definitely shoots a beam at you. But
maybe this one does then. I didn't.
Maybe
I don't know. I assumed it was a variant, but maybe it's not. It's been a while since I fought a Deviljho.
Yeah, it's been a while as well for me. Mostly because I would run away until I actually had a quest to kill him.
Yeah, because he's a mean boy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if this is part of doing Deviljho or not, but there is the Dragonproof mantle that will be added as well in the in the update, and then I don't know what that does, but it's something to do with dragonproofing, which
I guess it's the dragon element. I imagine not that many attacks actually use the dragon element, though. I don't know. Obviously, maybe Deviljho will have dragon element attacks. Maybe that's what his beam is. But
maybe
I think off the top of my head, I can't really think of. I know that the last boss, Xeno'jiiva, uses like dragon element attacks, but I can't think of any of the other ones that do. Maybe I'm just being stupid though.
I have no idea.
Always possible. I mean, obviously, I know that like some of the obviously the Elder Dragons. No, I don't think any of them like have specifically dragon-based attacks. They certainly don't inflict the dragon blight on you anyway.
No.
Anyway,
well, then the other thing coming in the update is there's a whole load of balancing adjustments where weapons get up and down, but we're not going to go through that because it's minutiae and it's not hugely interesting. Just
we can
read
include a link. There's some interesting stuff.
Yes,
Bow's getting weaker. Everything else is getting a bit stronger.
Yeah, exactly. I'll include a link to the Monster Hunter World website where it's got a big list of all this.
Yes.
To browse at your leisure.
Precisely.
The one thing I will say that is really good is that they're adding a Return to Gathering hub.
Yes.
So you can just go straight back to there, rather than being kicked back into the main town, which is a nice addition.
That's nice. I mean, I think it just adds a nice bit of, like a bit of a middle ground of like social continuance without having to be entirely stuck.
Yeah.
So I wonder how it'll work, right? Because will it only be available? Maybe you've done your research, and again, I am playing the idiot who will ask the questions to inform the audience. Is like right? So will it only be available if you are in a quest from the same online session? Like if you're only joined with people from your online session? Because obviously the Gathering Hub, unlike in the other games where it was, a separate thing, is now just part of the online session.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was in a game, if I joined an SOS flare, like, I'm assuming that I wouldn't be able to return to the hub with the people from the flare, because that's one of the things that really is a bit irritating. Is the only way that you can, like, in the other games, it was quite easy to meet people and do some quests with them, and then kind of form a little bit of a friendship there. But with this one, at most what you can do, it's quite fiddly, because you'd have to maybe return to camp instead of going back to the HQ, and then send them a friend request, and then invite them to your session and everything. It does feel a bit more obtuse, and so I'm wondering if this will ease that a bit by somehow or other shunting you all into the same online session.
I have no idea. It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. We'll have to figure it
out. Sorry.
I mean, I'm assuming, is it in the bit basically at the end where it's HQ, camp, or hub? Will that be what
where you click the analog stick to go cycle through the menu? That's where it'll be.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And supposedly they've reduced loading times as well, so makes
that's nice.
Entering the Gathering Hub a bit less traumatic. So,
like, I mean, this is kind of one of the first games where I've felt that maybe the old PS4 isn't cutting it quite so much anymore. I mean, not really because I'm that fussy about the resolution or the frame rate, but just because I've heard the Pro has, obviously I think it's got an SSD in it rather than a normal hard drive. Either that or that's an upgrade that someone's made to it and has been speaking about. But I've heard that the load times are a bit faster on it one way or another. Yeah.
Well, they will be anyway, won't they? Just runs it. It's got a bit more RAM and stuff, so it'll be a bit quicker in general.
Well.
Anyway, that's all that. Read that wherever you want. I'll put a link in. I shan't forget.
Exactly. What do the listeners think about this? Because I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just nice stuff, isn't it? It's all just nice stuff for a nice game. That's that's our official line on update on the update.
Exactly.
Nice stuff for a nice game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, shall we talk a bit about some new weapons that we've been playing as?
Yeah, in our ever-expanding repertoire of Monster Hunter World experience, what have we been doing since the last one?
Exactly, yes. That sort of thing.
Which new corners have we been unveiling in our week gameplay?
Yes. Do you want to go first, or should I tell you what weapon I've been using badly this week?
I guess I'll go first, because
go for it.
we were playing earlier before the podcast to get ourselves warmed up.
And
part of that experience was me getting thumped a lot, really, while trying to do true charge slashes with the greatsword.
Yes,
I've been trying it. It's such a satisfying weapon to use when you get it right, but it relies so much on knowledge of the monster's attacks, positioning. I mean, the tackle makes it a lot easier than it was in the other games, but right. So obviously, if you're not familiar with the greatsword, essentially it has 3 levels of charged slash. You do 1 slash, and then you can do another one, and then a third one. The third one does by far the most damage. In relation to the earlier thing, I think they're buffing the damage of the first 2 charged slashes to make it less reliant on getting to the third one. But anyway,
cool.
In this game, unlike in the other ones, I think it was basically kind of similar in the old games, except you just had charged slashes and then maybe a second one. I don't think there was a third one. I could be completely wrong. Anyway, there was a lot less mobility involved, because in this one you can kind of aim your slash a bit. You're not completely stuck to the initial angle, and then also they have a bit of movement skills. And the tackle is basically like a cancel out of it. Like if you're there like an idiot holding your charge and you realize that some big beastie's about to wallop you. In the other ones, you basically couldn't really do anything except have the foresight not to get into that situation next time.
Yeah.
But in this one, you can basically press circle and your character does just a kind of forward, shoulder charge thing. It prevents knockback, reduces the damage you take a bit, and just allows you to keep standing so you don't get walloped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a technical weapon. And requires, I think, a lot of skill in the way you need to know the monster's attacks, know your own positioning, and if you don't, you'll end up with a lot of incredibly unsatisfying whiffs, where you just get denied at the last second. Just either you just angled it very slightly wrong, and that last massive flip charge just thumps into the dirt, or the monster.
What were we fighting earlier? We were fighting Legiana, weren't we? And,
yes, we were.
The headset,
I wasn't having a good time.
All I could was you going, I'm done. I just want to do the thing.
I just want to
just about to do it, and it flew off.
Every time. I didn't bring any flash bombs, so it's my fault.
No, I
really.
It was
it has this habit of flying up into the air and then not coming down for a long time.
Which is our own fault in fairness there. But...
Yeah, see, as I was saying in Evi, I'm too used to playing Hammer, where you just wallop stuff and just keep it on the ground by continually breaking its legs, and whacking it in the skull. You can't really do that with this. Although tackling does deal stun damage, and you can get stuns off it if you
can you really
tackle enough. I didn't get any, but you can.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I mean, it's got a pretty high skill cap, but the greatswords. It's interesting. It's good fun. It takes a long time to get used to because it feels clunky because in a way it is. It does clunk, it's so big that it can't help but clunk.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, from one slightly clunky weapon to another, I've been finally trying out the lance, and I can report that I am bad at using the lance.
It requires kind of a different mindset, I think,
Completely different mindset. Because I spent the majority of the game using the switch axe, where I dodge and I roll and I just get big sweeping hits in or a couple of smaller ones, and then it's kind of I'm building up towards doing a big explosion. Everything I do is kind of working towards that one thing. Whereas with the lance, I've just kind of stood there, often really far away, and then try to charge in, or just sort of stood there, just taking blocking damage, or getting a few jabs in. It's it's completely different.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I remember because I've not used it yet in this game, but I've used it in Freedom Unite ages ago, and when I was playing it again recently with a friend, I was using it again, and it's. Compared to the hammer, which I think has kind of almost a similar playstyle to kind of the switch axe kind of thing, in that you run in, get in a good few big whacks, and then you back out because you basically don't have much blocking capability, and it's in and out hit and run basically. With the lance, it's what you want to do is just get in there, plonk your shield down, and just
just stay there.
Exactly, like you just want to stay right up next to it.
Yeah. So I've had a couple where I like, especially against some of like the slightly quicker enemies. Like I think I fought another Garen the other day, and like he's just that little bit too quick. Like he just jumps behind me sometimes, or jumps to the side, and like it's like slightly off from where I can block or something.
Yeah.
Or he just backs away really quickly and jumps backwards, and I'm like, oh, it's really far for me to go forwards.
Yeah.
I either have to charge or I have to walk really slowly.
Yeah. I think, what is it? The Lance has some quite cool moves that you can do.
It does have some cool moves.
Like, I think one of the big parts of it in this game anyway is the counter hit it has.
Yes.
Like where you can... Well, I'll let you go on it because I have no idea really how it works. It's just a big parry.
Yeah. It's pretty much a big parry. So it's pretty much you put the shield down, and then I think you press circle, and then that sort of starts your parry sort of move. And if you take a hit before then, it negates the entire damage, and it does quite a lot more back to the enemy.
Right.
You can still do it without actually having to take damage. It just sort of after a few seconds it just sort of happens. I don't know why I'm gesturing. I'm gesturing a lance. No one can see me. Yeah. So yeah, it does that. It's quite nice to kind of, if you get that timing down of like, something's charging at you, you just get ready to parry. You block the entire thing and get like a massive hit back. Often in the monster's head as well, because that's what's coming at you. But yeah, no, it is a satisfying weapon. It is good to use. It is just so different from any of the other things I've tried. Even from like, I mean, going from using the switch axe to using the heavy bowgun wasn't that much of a like. It was a leap in terms of style, but like the heavy bowgun, as I've said before, is essentially a third-person shooter, and I've played third-person shooters before, so I kind of can get a gist of what that's going to be like and kind of understand it. Whereas the lance is like, it's a bit like playing Dark Souls, but instead of like trying to like being able to dodge and roll and try and like, so you're playing like the full plate mail, like you're playing the heaviest possible things. You don't want to roll because rolling is bad. And you kind of just you take attacks and then you poke back occasionally. That's kind of the nearest thing I can think to it being like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're there with like the enormous like tower guard shield, and you're just there, just taking hits.
Miles over your weight limit. You can't even
exactly.
You can't even sprint properly.
No, not at all. You just get some jabs in. And again, actually, if you don't raise the shield, you can do some decent combos, and it can hit quite high up as well, which is quite nice. So especially for flying enemies, you can really poke them.
I guess that's probably just part of the risk and reward element of it, isn't it? Because I remember when I was lying earlier. I think I used Gunlance in Freedom Unite. Anyway,
right.
But yeah, it's a similar idea in that you have a decent shield, but and like when you do drop your shield, you've got decent offensive potential, but you're still you got to be ready to kind of whack it up and get defensive at any moment because the monster could turn back towards you and decide that you're its lunch, and you can get caught out that way and with no real movement capacity. Because I think what is it? With the lance and stuff, you usually don't you have like a side hop after an attack?
Yeah.
But that's about
side
it.
Hop. Yeah. And I think as you attack, you just kind of edge forward ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Unless you've got the shield in the ground, obviously, in this case you stay still, but although you sort of like slightly hop forward. So you can hop to the side between attacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's also there's the charge as well, which is quite fun, but I don't think I've ever used that in a proper fight because it's kind of unwieldy. you can't really aim it that well unless something is directly in front of you. It's not very easy to kind of target, but it's quite good for charging across the map quite quickly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I've seen videos of people doing lance races where they
nice
where they just charge and see who gets there first, who's got the best racing line.
Nice. No, it is something that I want to kind of pick away a bit more, but at the same time, I've also got other weapons I want to try.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I know, there's so many. Like the thing with me is there's just a lot I want to try out. I want to try a fast weapon. That's basically my thing. But at the same time, I find slow ones really satisfying. So.
Yeah, I think that's why I like switch axe so much. You call it the switchblade. Just because it's kind of a bit of both. Like it's kind of slow and heavy with in the axe mode, and it's quite quick in the sword mode.
Yeah.
It just probably belies my indecisive nature that I pick the one that is kind of a bit of everything.
Yeah. It's like I want to try other stuff. I want to get into one of the faster weapons. I mean, I use the longsword a bit. It has a similar kind of parry mechanic almost. Not really. It's not like a parry, but you kind of, it's the foresight slash where you kind of you do an attack and then you kind of go backwards and then essentially evade and then do like a big. You can do like a big follow up poke in, and you like fly miles up in the air for reasons that evade my understanding, and then you can do a big slash down again. And I mean, I tried it a bit. It's a really fun weapon, but it's not that quick. I guess the really fast ones are usually your like sword and shield, dual blades. Obviously, the light bow gun is like ranged wise, and the bow itself.
The bow, the bow is quick actually. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed and movement involved in those, and I always wanted to try those out, but every time it's just like the hammer just calls me back. It's like I could do that, or I could just do a big slide and do my big idiot spin again and whack it in the head and get that. Like, there's this noise that the game makes when you get a stun, and it's just like I couldn't make it with my mouth, but it's like just it's really good to get. Anyway, I can't stop talking about the hammer. It's just so much fun.
That's fine. I think I think most people have like a weapon that is just their favorite, that they just like, and nothing else quite is quite as satisfying to use to them as the one that like they use the most. So I can understand what you mean. I am the same way with the switch axe, as you saw me. When we were playing, I started off using the lance, and then I was like, I'm just not feeling like it today. I was just being bad, worse than I was the other day. I just being in the way more than anything else. I just go back to using what I like to use. I had bits where like we're fighting a Zitiyaku, and it's trying to run off, and there's just me in the side of it.
Yeah, there was a couple of times we needed some components off it, run out. Yeah, it was like I thought it's sprinting away in the distance, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to run after it. Sheathe my greatsword and start running away. And I was like, wait, it's exploding, and I was like, Nevi's stuck in it at the minute. The only thing that I found a bit irritating about that was when I saw the big explosion at the end, I expected it to fall over, and it didn't.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't always.
I kept expecting it to just like get launched on the ground.
No, not quite. But it still looked
like great fun though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try either the insect glaive next, or I might throw caution to the wind and try out the bagpipes.
There you go. The hunting horn. Yeah, that's a fair one. I've always kind of fancied the hunting horn because it's a bit like a hammer that also supports. But yeah, I mean, the insect glaive, I remember trying it in 4 Ultimate once and never quite getting to grips with it because I could never like do proper flips without feeling like an idiot and ending up in the wrong place. But
it was hard. It was really hard because back then as well, like you don't have the second analog stick, so it's just even harder to aim your launches into the air.
The knob made it easier, but
marginally,
not ideal.
No, I did play it a bit in Generations, but no, I'd like to go back to it, and like because you can upgrade the insects and loads of customization for those as well. So I'm feeling like I should try it again, get some more, give it another go.
That's fair.
Yeah, what are those two? Next time we record, what are those two? I'll probably try and talk about. So
I have no idea what I'll try next, but I'll try something. I promise.
Yeah, good.
I'll whack some monsters with something or other.
Hopefully, you'll be whacking Devil Joe as well.
Yeah, so exactly. I'll whack him a couple of times or get eaten alive.
Yes,
one of the two.
All that.
I saw this picture yesterday. I don't know how to describe it to people. That it's like with the insect glaive. There's this big inside joke about 4 Ultimate where there was a lot of for some reason. There's this reputation that there were a lot of French players using the insect glaive, and so everyone set their insect glaive, the mount shout that you do whenever you get on top of a monster, to "Je suis monté," and I saw this incredible. I don't know if you can even call it a cosplay, of this guy dressed as like the world's most stereotypical Frenchman with like the the mustache. The beret, I don't know, the like scarf thing with the black and white shirt, and he was holding an insect glaive that was just a big stick with 2 baguettes on either side of it, and the wee like Kinsect thing was made out of baguettes and cheese. It's like, it was impressive, very impressive. It was a lot of effort to go to for a quite obscure inside joke about Monster Hunter.
It is. I never even heard that. So.
There you go.
Yeah, it's impressive. But no, yes, we've got lots of cool things for Monster Hunter World coming up, and I'm gonna try and actually finish the game by the time we record again, because I keep getting distracted with just side stuff or just playing new weapons and then gradually upgrading them.
Yeah.
So I end up just not doing the actual story mission.
You absolutely end up in that kind of loop with new weapons where it's just like, I need to upgrade this, and then you need to hunt about 300 monsters to get to the best upgrade, and you do that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. So I've done Zora Magdaros and stuff now, but I've beaten up who is it that appears in Zora Magdaros' back? I forgot what his name is now.
Nergigante.
Yeah, beaten Nergigante, and now I'm just hunting for some more Elder Dragons. So
I took a while on the dragon tracks because they just basically appear. They have set spaces I think they appear in, but they take a while to gather because sometimes you just get like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I know you just get them just for doing high rank missions, but
yeah.
Because I've been just upgrading some of the older stuff, I've just been doing low rank again, just to get like parts that I need. So I'm getting them towards being finished. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, if you found this podcast with that website attached, you can head on over to bitsandpieces.games. We've got lots of cool articles and more podcasts and some video stuff as well, maybe. So do check that out. Also, you can follow us on the Twitter at Bits Plus Pieces or Instagram and Facebook at Those Bits and Pieces. And that's about it. If you do like this podcast, review us on iTunes and all the other stuff like that, because it helps push us up rankings and stuff. And because it's got our other podcast on it as well, do have a look through the rest of the feed. And listen to the regular podcast as well.
Give us some sweet listens. It's what we live off. It sustains us.
Anyway, thank you for listening. That's all from us. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.